Hello again, and it's been a while since I've made any videos, but thought I would take up on a new subject. Um, the last one I did was about divorce, and I wanted to bring this up from somewhat of a Jewish perspective, and forgive me, but I'm coming from the perspective of a messianic friend, a congregation of the friends that I used to have back in the day that I was attending a Messianic Jewish congregation. And given that when we're doing an exegesis that's primarily from the Gospels, then their perspective holds weight to me because Jesus, when he's giving a discourse, he is actually speaking to Jewish people and the Jewish people of his time. So we need to dissect that and determine, is he talking to people within um, their own matrix of that time frame, given that these are Jewish people under the law, with most of them have a Pharisaical understanding of Scripture, and this is pre-cross. So there, as well, there's times when Jesus is referring to the right now, and then there's instructions to the church that would follow. So in any case, I made a video on that and coming from that perspective. Also remember that the Torah was given to the Israelites, for the Israelites, for the nation of Israel, and for that would also as well apply to the Jewish diaspora, and the different religious groups would be determining um, how the law applies to those who are in the diaspora, and we have differing opinions. However, it was never given to the Gentile nations outside, and um, they were just under the Noahic covenant at the time. And those of us who don't know the Lord, if you're not saved, then that Noahic covenant is still binding to you. For us, that we are now under the law of love and um, walking in the Spirit and that kind of thing. So, notwithstanding, we are given from the law a basic understanding of right and wrong. Okay, I know I'm going to get some thumbs down for saying that. With regards to marriage from a Bronze Age perspective, when you're talking about, say, for instance, in the days of Abraham, um, all that we have as far as understandings of what marriage was would be from, for instance, the Code of Hammurabi, um, and these were laws written by pagans. But in Genesis, there was an understanding of uh, husband and wife, and there was something sacred about it, and it also involved inheritances and who your children are, and um, their place in society, even though the societies could range from being fairly primitive out in the small towns to more sophisticated as you were brought into these civilizations. Nevertheless, how do we apply a biblical understanding today? Is that Paul gives instructions to the church. So we have 1 Corinthians chapter 7. So we have some guidelines here. I'm not going into that. I'm rather going to talk about civil law regarding divorce and remarriage. In a society where there's a general understanding that, I'll give you, for instance, Um, in Greece, where just about everybody's Greek Orthodox, then we have a religious understanding of marriage, and that overlays into the civil understanding of marriage. In Upper Canada, we had a Protestant understanding of marriage, which just was handed down through the tradition of Protestantism. In Quebec, you had a Catholic understanding of marriage. And when Canada came together, they were close enough that we could make laws regarding marriage. Then, as society became more secular, our understanding of marriage in the legal sense has been completely messed up. And with multiculturalism, it's even more messed up. And the fact that people will immigrate from other countries that on their passport could say they're married, but the understanding of marriage from that country could be something very different, something even incompatible with the legal understanding here. Yet when they're brought to Canada, we're now in a dilemma. Okay, so I'll give you for instance. I know a country where their marriage laws and divorce laws are completely incompatible with ours. And so they have certain understandings over there that we won't have here. I really don't want to get into that exactly because it'll become obvious where I'm talking about. But I think I have an answer for Western society where we do have multiculturalism. And I think this would also ease the tension between liberals and conservatives. And this idea floated around, I mean, at least it's been around for 15 years, at least. But I think it's a great idea, is governments just get out of the marriage business. This completely be a religious thing because everybody by their religion has their definition of marriage. And then we're not going to have conflicts. There's not going to be a conflict of um, draconian divorce laws or conflict of plural marriages. Um, of You have societies where they have these binding betrothals, so which we don't. So and the legal aspects are, let's say the person is divorced, but there's some kind of legal contract with the first wife and the first family that they have an enduring status, even though the person's married the second time. You have all of that around the world, and so they present difficulties when we're dealing with Canada. So I think for Canada, the United States, Europe, just get out of the marriage business. And we talk about having people are taxed based on their civil union status, and then we have no further debate over what defines marriage and what doesn't. This isn't theology. This is just an opinion piece.